Hello and thank you for joining me for Richard's Carpy Bits. I'm Richard and here we go. I'm going to show you how to set up a leader. Right, just to go through the components. This is your leader, easy and simple. This is a inline lead. This is a swivel lead. This is a lead clip with a tail rubber, and this is an inline method feeder. This is a gate latch needle. As you can see, it's literally got a little gate on the end of there. And this is a rig. Easy. Right, here we go. Let's take our leader. And I'll just quickly go through it with everybody. This is a Korda safe zone leader. I'm not saying it's the only leader on the market because it's not, but this is my favourite leader. It's quite simple. They do all sorts of additions to these leaders and all sorts of different colours like clay, weed. I think this is a silt. Yeah, but they do pretty much everything. The thing I absolutely love about these leaders are, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's slightly raised parts of the leader. Now, that's not a deformity or anything. What that is it's a piece of tungsten actually added into the leader, which means what will happen is the leader will pin itself to the bottom, and yeah, it will really pin itself down there. That's probably not the reason why I love it so much. The reason I love it so much is so you can put beads on there and it'll just hold a bead on there nice and stuff like that, but we'll go through that another time. Now at the end of this, and this is their bog standard simple one, but at the end of this all there is just a swivel, as you can see, and on the swivel is a big eye. Okay, and that'll come in handy soon. Also, another reason I like this particular leader is look how small that is. Now that is just a loop so you can tie it onto your main line, but they've made it so small what beads and leads can slip straight off the top if you have a break off. Okay. Next component is this. This is again a Korda method feeder. This is a large version of it. There's a smaller version of it, but yeah, this is my favourite type of method feeder on the market, and the reason being is quite simply there's only weight on one side. What that allows you to do is stick your bait in there and it will only land one way. It will always land on its weight, so that's fantastic. Right, now what I like to do, and not everyone does this, but this is how I do it, is I get a gate latch needle and I take the tail rubber and I thread the tail rubber onto the gate latch needle, and then I push it through, straight through there. This just makes it a lot easier to thread. Now I just clip it into that little loop we spoke about earlier, close the gate and pull it through. Now you pull it all the way down. What I always like to do is put a little bit of moisture on your swivel and then pull it in. And there you go. What's next is, well, you add your rig here, which I'll show you later. And then you tie your main line on here and yeah, you're fishing. What will happen with a method feeder, if I can just briefly explain, is you get some method mix, which is made up of all different types of things, however you want to make it, and we'll talk about bait on another edition. And then you bring your bait right round, and you can either tuck it in to your bait ball, which you've moulded round your method feeder, and then what will happen is the fish will be swarming round, and they'll be knocking and hitting it and sucking up little bits of whatever you put in there, sweet corn or hemp or whatever, and suddenly they'll see your bait sitting there and they'll think, right, dinner time. They'll suck it up and you've caught a fish. Right, the next type I'd like to talk to you about, and I'll just pull this off, is this is an inline lead. Right, it's just a dumpy pair inline lead, and yeah, it's simple. Again, what I like to do is get my gate latch needle, I pull the gate back and I thread it through, straight through, and then again you clip it through, clip your gate over, nice and easy, and pull it on. Again, go right to the end, and yeah, a little bit of moisture on your swivel again. And just whilst we're doing this, I will quickly show you how to put your rig on. Really easy and simple. You get your big eye off your swivel, and you get your loop you made in your rig, and you pass your loop straight through, and then you pass your bait and your hook through there, and you pull it down and put a little bit of moisture on it always, and just pull it down tight, and as you can see, it's really nice and neat, and it does the job. Look at that. Right, and what I'd like to show you is, if you can imagine carp's come along, seen your bait, taking your bait and your hook, and unfortunately your lead has been snagged. What happens next is the carp pulls and gives it a bit of a shake, and your lead will fall right off your swivel, and you've got a safe rig. Okay, and then what can happen next is, if you've had a snap off, your lead will just pull straight off the back, and as you can see, you've got a carp with only a hook and a leader to trail around after it, instead of having to carry around that heavy weight. Right, so there you go, that's an inline. It's a very effective way of fishing for carp. It's going to get you a lot quicker hook holds, so definitely try the inline unless you're fishing in really snaggy conditions or heavy weed or anything like that.